I'm just a fool waiting for you. Woo, 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 woo. I shouldn't start talking because all the puppies are asleep. And as soon as I started talking, the baby puppy, oh no, I think she's gonna start messing with the other ones. Go outside, Bella. Go outside and go potty. Go outside. Go outside and go potty. Go outside and go potty, Bella. You wanna go potty? You better go outside. You better go outside, Bella. You better go outside. You too, Tula. Take Bella outside. Go outside, girls. Go outside, girls. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm home again. I got up this morning, got dressed, got my little puppy together, was taking off to go to work, got in the car, started driving my route to work, roads closed. I was saying yesterday that we have two big rivers, but, well, I don't know if they're not that big, but we have two rivers that run in through and around our town. Well, they're flooded, and I can't get to work. I couldn't get to work yesterday. And well, I kind of have a kidney infection or something going on too. And so I called my boss and told him that the road was closed. And he said, well, I was going to call you anyway and tell you not to try to get out here because it's so muddy. Even if you could get out here, the roads are so muddy and blah, blah, blah. So, and I was telling him that I needed to go see my doctor because I've been having symptoms of what I thought was a kidney infection. Well, I called and that's what I told them when I made the appointment. They said, well, we need you to go ahead and come on in. So, I mean, I didn't have to wait or anything. I just drove straight from where I was at, drove my puppy, brought her to the house. My town is very small. You can do all this in minutes. So I got off the phone, drove the puppy home, um, and went over to the doctor's office where they took urine sample. But just from me describing what was going on, she said that a kidney infection would be higher up on the back, like under the ribs on your back. And so she didn't think it was a kidney infection, but she put me on antibiotics because it's definitely some kind of, she thinks it might be a bladder infection. And I've never had a bladder infection before either. I've never had a kidney infection. And the only reason that went through my mind when I started having this pain in my back and kind of like bladder spasms is because I know your kidneys are in your back somewhere. And it doesn't feel like, I've put my back out before. I've had back injuries and pains before. So it doesn't feel like that. This is something inside my body. This isn't back pain. Anyway, just wow, 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 wow. Poor me, poor me. But since I'm on here, I would like to say that, Lindy, my prayers are out to you. I'm very sorry about your mother. I truly am. I don't wish things like that on anyone for any reason whatsoever. So I would like you to know that I have prayed for you and I will continue to pray for you because I know that, even the first couple of days, even the first couple of weeks, you're just kind of walking around kind of in shock, really. You don't, it the reality doesn't hit you until later. I mean, yeah, I know that you're sad. Uh, I know that you're in pain. I realize that. But the real reality of it doesn't hit you until later. And I am praying for you and I do feel bad for you, Lindy. So, I mean, that was just important for me to say. I'm a human being with feelings. And I know that it's painful. So, my feelings are with you. And then another thing that I wanted to make sure that I brought up was Kat. Um, I've been thinking about her because Kat and I are not the best of friends or anything like that. We're not enemies by any means whatsoever. But um, I just, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine being her and being in that situation and reaching out to her husband and he won't even call her back. He won't attempt to help her. And I know that they're getting divorced and they're, cutting ties and blah, 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 or, whatever. I understand that, but nobody should be that unfeeling to someone that they were married to. If you love that person enough to marry them, you certainly shouldn't want any harm to come to them. And he knows that she can't financially go stay at a hotel or, you know, her circumstances are limited because of her funds, of getting out of there. And not only that, but just the very shock that she called the man that she has been married to for all these years and attempted to get him to talk to her to help her, and he ignored that. That's painful. That's really painful. I can't even imagine that. I've been married a couple of times myself. I can't imagine one of my ex-husbands allowing me to go through something like that. I just can't. And he knows that she's there alone and he knows that she doesn't drive and he knows that she doesn't have money, and that's just painful. It's painful to think of, and I feel so bad for Kat. And Kat, you're in my prayers too. What a crybaby I am. I I can just put myself in someone else's position sometimes. Even, you know, I can just feel that pain. I can just feel it. I I feel so bad for Lindy. I know that she loved her mother. I feel I just know. I just know that she's in a lot of pain right now. And it makes me feel bad. This isn't a game anymore. This is real. So, and I'm not going to go on and on about that, but I do want Lindy to know that I'm praying for her and I feel bad for her. And Kat, uh, I hope that you're okay, and I hope that you'll contact someone and um, let them know that you're okay. I don't know if you even have electricity right now or water or the basic things that we're all accustomed to and kind of need to live. You know, especially this day and age. If you don't have electricity, sometimes you can't even use like I may have gas. We may have natural gas to run our furnace, but if I don't have electricity, it doesn't run the blower motor to make it, work. To make So you have to have electricity. You have to have electricity to have a phone. You have to have electricity to even use a microwave or um, I don't know what kind of stove that she has. I don't know if she has a gas stove or an electric one, but if she has a newer gas stove, you even have to have electricity for those. So I hope that she's I hope that she's okay. And I know that she's been having problems with her legs, you know, and so she can't even like get out and run away or walk to somewhere. And she's got a dog, she's got her little dog. And oh my, she's got to be terrified. I guess that the storm is passing. I think that from what I just saw, it's possible that the worst part of the storm is maybe over with, but we don't know if how she weathered that. And we don't know if she has electricity. I think that would be the most important thing for her to have is electricity and water. So I hope that she still has power. And I hope that she'll contact someone, because even if she's lost power, I hope that she will contact someone somehow and let them know that she's okay. And I hope that if she's lost power and she's going to be without power for a while, I hope that she will be able to get someone to come and pick her up and take her somewhere. Yeah, I've just been here. I've been kind of sleepy today too, which is really weird for me because unless I'm sick, ordinarily, once I get up for the day, and that's usually these days, my natural body clock is about 7 till midnight. That's my hours that I'm awake. And unless I'm sick, I never take naps. And I've slept a lot today. And I'm not sick. I mean, I don't feel sick. I'm concerned about that kidney thing because of the disease that I have, because ordinarily the disease that I have likes to attack people's kidneys, you know, and I've been lucky. up until now. Well, lucky it got my brain instead. But I mean, my kidneys have been perfectly fine. They've not had any incidents. I've never had any problems ever in my life with my kidneys. So that's why when I started having that pain in my back and my bladder spasm, I can't even say that word, spasm ing. That was the first thing I thought of is, uh-oh, it got my kidneys. It may be trying to get my kidneys. And I'm already back on prednisone. I don't want to have to take any more of it so far. Um, I haven't had to take massive doses like I had to take before. And I don't want to ever have to take, I don't even want to take it at all because it's impossible to lose weight when you're taking prednisone. It's just absolutely impossible. But that'll come. It'll all get better. I just know it. I just always feel like I have hope, you know. I just always feel like I do. My daughter came over yesterday, my daughter and my granddaughter. Um, they went to Kansas City yesterday to go take my granddaughter to the dentist. Oh my goodness, that's going to cost a lot of money. She did she did get my daughter got my granddaughter's father to agree to help pay for this dental bill though. Remember I was telling you before that he was saying that, well, I paid child support, you know, and that's supposed to cover everything. Hi Deborah, how are you? I have an autoimmune disease that causes well, the reason I'm back on it is because I was having headaches because my brain was swelling again. So it's to keep the inflammation down. It's to keep the brain from swelling any more than it is. Oh my goodness. Um, yeah, there was a time when I was on 60 milligrams twice a day of prednisone. And so right now I'm only on 6 milligrams of prednisone, so that's a good deal. So I think it's 6. I don't know. It may be 10. I'm not sure. They've changed it a couple of times. They've put it up and put it down a couple of times. Oh gosh. Oh yeah, I gained a lot of weight. And then too, I don't know if you were around in like 2015, 2016 when I was on those heavy doses of it. My face looked like I weighed 400 pounds because you get what they call moon face, where your face swells all up and you look like, yeah, I mean, seriously, I literally, even though my body didn't match my face at all, um, I literally looked like I weighed like 400 pounds just in the face. I'm not going to stay on here very long. When my husband comes home, I'll probably shut down. I'm surprised that he's working. Like yesterday, he didn't get home until um, close to 6. I don't know exactly what he's doing. I don't know if I even asked him yesterday. But I know that as much rain and stuff as we've had, he can't get his rig into the fields. Besides that, I passed by a shop yesterday and his rig was still there. So I don't know. Bella, what are you doing? You too, Tula. What are you doing? No, no fighting. Be nice, ladies. Um, who stinks? I think one of them potted and the other one stepped in it. They just came in from outside. My goodness. Um, that's just what I've begged when I was on that before. I begged to get taken off of it. And it took me a whole year to get weaned off of it. Actually, longer than that. It took me a whole year to get weaned off of from the time I was on 30 milligrams until I could get completely off of it. But yeah, I was on 120 milligrams a day. So I was on 60 milligrams twice a day. It was terrible. And, they say that steroids hype you up and make you hyper and can't sleep and all that. It was the opposite for me. Now, when I first went on steroids, yeah, but after you're on it so long, no, I couldn't even walk across the room. I couldn't even walk across the room without, I'd have to sit down. I'd run out of energy. I'd run out of air. It was terrible. And so I'm thankful that I'm not in that kind of position right now. And I'm thankful every day when I wake up, to tell you the truth, because I'm really not supposed to be here. I mean, yeah, I've had doctors tell me that, you know, I was going to a neurologist, or I was seeing a neurologist, and when I was being dismissed from the hospital, he told me, he said, I really didn't think that you'd ever walk out of here, because it was just my brain was swelling. They couldn't figure out why. For one thing, like I said, I was misdiagnosed twice, you know. Anyway, that's new. That's old news. My poor mother, though, you know, she'd sit in that hospital and sleep at that hospital, while my mother's retired and my husband was still working. So my husband would come to the hospital on the weekends, but my mother would stay at the hospital with me through the week. And and I slept most of the time. I didn't even realize what was going on. I would go in and out of comas, and I was I call it asleep most of the time. I was not aware of what was going on around me most of the time. And every time I'd wake up, there'd be my mama, you know. And then, of course, on the weekends, my husband would be there. And yeah, I know what it's like to sit by your child at the hospital. I remember that. My mom went through that for a long time. So, but anyway, um, I was I was kind of hoping Kat would just show up. That's kind of what I'm holding on for, just to see if she'll show up and let us know that she's okay. I've got Scope on. I should get notified if she goes live on Scope. Did I tell you guys what I cooked yesterday? I cooked while I was on here yesterday while I was on the Hangout. I cooked, had some chicken legs and I boiled them. I boiled them from, oh, it was a good, I didn't boil them. I simmered them for a good 4 or 5 hours yesterday. And I put garlic and onion and tomato and just a little bit of tomato. I didn't want it to be a red sauce. I just wanted a little bit of tomato, so I just put a couple of them in there. Um, what else did I put in there? Garlic and onion, carrots, some seasonings. I put a little tiny bit of oregano, not to make it oregano flavored, just to give the juice just a different flavor. And then I put chicken bouillon, a little bit of chicken bouillon. It just turned out really, really good. I like a good bone broth. And to me, a soup's not good if it doesn't have a good broth with it. I mean, you can have all the veggies and whatever, noodles, meatballs, whatever you want to put in a soup, but if it doesn't have a good broth, it's not worth eating. And this soup was delicious, and I just made I was going to put some potatoes in it too, but we just had potatoes the other day, so I decided to just make white rice. And, you just put a little bit of white rice in the bowl, or you don't have to. Like, I didn't eat mine with rice, but for my husband, uh, he likes to have, some oomph to his soup. So he just puts a little white rice in the bowl and then puts the soup over it. And he devoured it, so I guess he liked it. My husband's not much of a praiser. I missed that a lot, but that's just how he is. It's not personal. He's never been. I've asked him before, don't you like my food that I cook for you? Well, yeah, I eat it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't eat it. Hi, Mel B. How are you? Oh, you're doing some yard work, huh? Hmm. Well, it's been raining like crazy here. If the sun ever does come back out, and if this lakes that we have everywhere dry all up, we're going to have to mow again. At least probably once or twice more before the end of the season. Well, I bet you we'll have to mow probably 2 or 3 more times. Yeah. I mean, I have to walk across the yard to get to where I park. I could walk a little bit farther and walk down to the city sidewalk that's, in my yard and then back up the driveway. I could do that, but that's just stupid. So I walk across my yard to get to my parking lot, and I've been wearing jeans the last couple of days, and the bottom of my jeans are getting all wet. Huh. Turmeric. I used to take that. I'd put it like in smoothies, and I'd cook with it a lot and stuff like that. And turmeric did seem to help me. Um, it didn't seem to help me, and I think I did it for about 30 days. I did it when I was at my daughter's in DC because she was all into that alternative health stuff. But yeah, I'll check into that a little bit more. Um, Sarah RX80. Check into that. Um, yeah, I can see where I'm gonna. I mean, I am weaning off of the prednisone again, and I've only been on it this time for about 3 months, so that's not long, and I'm not taking big massive doses, but it's enough that it affects me. It affects my sleep pattern. It affects my uh weight. I mean, my appetite is ferocious. I have to pretty much starve myself to not to just stay where I'm at. I mean, I'll just be happy right now if I just stay where I'm at and I don't gain any weight. Hi, David. How are you? I'm doing good today. I know, Deborah. I hate prednisone too. But you know what? If it wasn't for prednisone, I wouldn't be here. That's the honest to God truth. When they were misdiagnosing me twice, that's the only thing that saved my life is what they had diagnosed me with. A treatment for it was prednisone too. And I've been told that it's what saved my life because it was what saved my brain from go ahead and just swelling off. So it saved me. And this time, see what happened with this time. What happened was I only go to my rheumatologist. Well, right now I'm going every 6 weeks, but as a rule, I only have to go every 6 months to just get checkups. To just they'll check my blood work and stuff, and I've been good. And for a year and a half, I didn't have to take the chemo. I didn't have to because I was like they could still see the disease that I have is called vasculitis. It's Wegener's vasculitis, and they check it by its levels. Like there's diff- anyway. So it was so minimal that it was barely showing up on the test. So I was almost to remission, and that stayed like that for 6 months. Like, the last time I got checked and I had the chemo, and it stayed at the same level and it hadn't moved up at all. And it was so minimal that my doctor and I decided that I could skip the chemo the next time. You're doing so well. You don't need to be, you're fine. You don't need this. And I was only doing 6 months maintenance doses at that time of the chemo, and I could skip it. And that chemo wasn't well, when I first had it, it was to get rid of the disease, or attempt to get rid of the disease. And then the every 6 months was just maintenance doses. It's like, don't come back, zap, boom, go away. Anyway, so I was only having to have it every 6 months. Well, it went like that for a year and a half, that I did not have to take the chemo for a year and a half. And then I was still, I still have to go see my doctor every 6 months for checkups. And right about 3 weeks before it was time for my 6 month checkup, I started having headaches again. And I hadn't been having these headaches. And I started having those headaches again. And there's a particular kind of headache that I know what it is. And I was like, well, I'm going to go see the doctor in 3 weeks anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. Well, when I went to go see the doctor for my checkup and they checked my levels again, of course, I told them I was having my headaches and stuff, and they checked my levels again, and it was all the way back. Like I was back to all the way where I was when I first got diagnosed. And so we had to start the chemo all over again, and I ended up doing 4 rounds of it every 2 weeks. So I'd do, I'd go in for the chemo and then wait 2 weeks and then go in again, wait 2 weeks. I had to do that 4 times. So that's where we're at now. And I go back to the doctor again. Um, and I haven't, we just stopped at the 4 rounds because that's what got me into check the last time, you know, 4 years ago when they first started doing it, or 3 years ago, whatever it was, when they first started doing the chemo. It got that 4 rounds got me into check, and then from then on, I only had to do maintenance doses. So right now, uh, the next time I go see him again next month, and he'll check my levels again, and we'll go from there. If this particular drug takes 2 to 3 months to totally do its job. Like, you might feel some results in the first, by week 3, I was definitely, the headaches were being relieved. And right now, I'm not having headaches at all. So the headaches are pretty much gone. So I feel like it's working. It's not raining here right now, David. Um, yeah, it did rain all night, but it's kind of sprinkled and spit here and there today, but not much. No accumulation, that's for sure. But I wasn't able to get to work today because now the roads are still closed. Like I said, there's another route I can take and go to work, and it's further than I thought, that route, because I actually did drive it today while I was on the phone with my boss, and he told me, no, just go back home, because it's once you get on the gravel roads, that's where it's really bad. He didn't want me to get stuck somewhere. So, and I ended up turning around and coming back to town, and yeah, I drive about 5 miles on the turnpike to get to where I turn off to go down these other country roads. Yeah, no vacation. If I had something planned or had somebody to do something with, it would have been a vacation. I guess I could have went and saw my friend Jeff. I have a really good friend that I could have went to go see today. I didn't think about it. What'd you do, Bella? Did you go outside? What did you go outside like a good girl does? She's getting it, you guys. She will run out there and go potty. She goes pee. She still poops in the house if I don't really, really pay attention to her. But she'll run out there and go pee. She's starting to get it. How long does it take? Because like I said, it's been 11 years since I've had a puppy. How long does it take for a puppy to get fully potty trained? I've had her now for a week and a half. And we've come really, really far, but we're not quite there yet. This morning, when I got her out of her crate to take her out, she had to go so bad that we got all the way to the doggy door and she stood there and started to piddle right before she went out the doggy door. She just couldn't hold it another second. And of course, I picked her up real quick and shoved her out the doggy door, but I just don't remember. My lab potty trained herself, and I'm not even kidding. She potty trained herself. I can't even remember her. I know that she had to have, but I don't even remember her ever pottying in the house. We crate trained her right away, um, immediately. And but she was 4 months old when I brought her home. Like when we got her from her mother, she was already 4 months old. But they said she was outside all the time. Like these people that we got her from had a farm, and so they were in a barn, and just have had access to come and go outside. Maybe she just, I don't know. But when I got her, we decided that we were going to crate train her. And I read about it and all that stuff because she was the first puppy I ever crate trained. And the puppy is 4 months old, David. She's 4 months old, but she's been pottying in the house all this time. My daughter just would put a puppy pad down in the bathroom and leave her. And then when they were home, she just ran the house and pottied wherever. I mean, they just didn't know what they were doing in the first place. But even so, like I said, my daughter worked 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. How in the world was she going to potty train a puppy? 4 months, a couple of months. I was hoping it would be a couple of weeks. Because I would eventually too like to get to where I don't have to take her to work with me, where I can trust her and leave her home alone with the other dogs since they have a doggy door, you know. And I live too far away or I work too far away. I work 10 miles away from my house. So it's not like I can just run home at lunch and let her out. Hi, Brandy. How are you? Yeah, I'm hoping that she's pretty smart, though. I mean, the very first day that I had her, she figured out how to use the doggy door within like 10 minutes. She saw the other dogs going out there and she wanted to do that too. But I won't leave her alone at home until I know for sure that she's really good and potty trained. Like I never find any accidents around the house. And I know that she's really got it. And my neighbors have two big dogs. One of them's a mastiff. I mean, that dog's really, really sweet, but they're very curious about her. And the fence is blocked up, like they can't get to her. I don't know. They could jump that fence if they wanted to, though. That's my whole thing that I'm scared of. It's only a 4-foot fence, 4-foot chain link fence between our house, our yard, and theirs. And if those dogs wanted to bad enough get at her, they could jump that fence. Not going to happen in 2 weeks. Okay. Well, she's come a long, long way in a week and a half, so I can be grateful for that, right? Hi, Paul. How are you? Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Yeah. Well, well, well. This puppy needs to get potty trained. Well, I'm doing all right, Mr. Paul. I'm doing pretty good. Considering I'm certainly doing a lot better than a lot of other people. Oh, there's competitive e-beggars out there. Hmm. I'm not gonna get into that whole e-begging thing myself because I have some pretty strong opinions about it too. But it's kind of a way of life for some of them. So, but one of my things, and I'm not going to name names or anything else, but if you can afford to buy cigarettes are $6 a pack for the cheap generic ones. $6 a pack, and I know that because I buy them from my boss sometimes. He runs out of his cartons before his sister does, and so he'll send me to the store with money to buy cigarettes, and they smoke the cheap generic kind, and they're $6 a pack. Bella, Polly, no, I know she's making you mad. Come here, Bella. Anyway, if you can afford to buy cigarettes, you can afford to put gas in your car and get the heck out of a storm. And one of those e-beggars was standing there puffing on a cigarette when he was making his video. Not naming any names, but, and not only that, but dadgummit, uh, get a job. Evidently, the thing that you're trying to do for income's not working out for you. It hasn't been working out for you all this time. You don't make enough money doing it. It's not a regular enough job. Get a flippin' job. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you're on your own and it's only you that you have to worry about, that's one thing. But that's not the case here. Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to say anything else about it. It's not my business. I don't give them money. So why you make that doggy so mad at you? Why do you make her so mad? She's the sweetest dog ever in the world, and you make her growl at you. You make her mad, Bella. You make her mad. She's just an old lady, doesn't have any patience at all. She doesn't have patience. You crawling around, biting on her. She doesn't like it. You're right, Deborah. I'm a former smoker myself too. Actually, I haven't had a cigarette this month. It's been 3 years since I had my last cigarette. I had quit smoking a couple of times before that. One time I quit smoking for 2 years. No vaping, no nothing. I took Chantix to quit smoking, and I was successful at not smoking for 2 years. And then that was the first thing that I did when my son died, was start smoking again. It was just a natural reaction, I guess. And I smoked again. I smoked for another 2 years. Ouch. Right. Well, that's the thing, is when people make it so easy for them, well, I don't have to do much better because I know that people will pick me up if I fall down. That's the attitude that they get. I have a stepdaughter like that. She has 2 kids and has never worked and supported her own children. And her baby daddy's in jail. And everybody keeps bailing her out, you know. And she'll work for a couple of weeks and then she'll quit, you know. So she works enough to get a real big old fat income tax return check. Like she got like over $5,000 last year. And I'm serious. The girl will go to work, she'll work for a week or two, she'll quit her job, and then it'll be another couple months before she gets another job. So yeah, that's what my husband and I fight about with that girl. Because my husband's like, well, we can't let the kids go without. And yeah, you're right. We can't let the babies go without stuff. But she, we're at a place where she knows that. She knows that we'll bail the kids out. Because she's always calling, Dad, can I have $50 for gas? Because I'm going to go to blah, blah, blah. It's all about me trying to get a job. Yeah, well, that doesn't happen. Did you have any problems with? Hi, Lily. Hi, honey. Well, before I forget to say hello to you, but Deborah, did you have any problems at all with the Chantex? Because I didn't. I didn't have any problems at all with it. In fact, the only thing that it did was made me have really cool, vivid dreams, like the kind. And I'm not talking about sex dreams at all, just like really awesome dreams. I can't even remember a particular one to tell you, but I do remember that they were awesome, and so awesome, in fact, that if I'd wake up, I'd want to go back to sleep to finish those dreams. Yeah, I think that's how long I was on it too, about a month. Mhm. Exactly. And I like this person, this YouTube person. I like him as a person. He's very likable. But I don't like that. You need to be a man and support your own family and stop looking for handouts from other people. And I know it's not a daily, feed me, pay my rent daily type of thing with him, but even as many times as he's done it, it's too many times. It's You're not working enough. That's all there is to it. What you're doing, what you want to do for a living isn't working out for you. You need to find something else to do and make your own way and support your own family. Yeah, my daughter is a very all of my kids are hard workers. And it's just the luck of the draw. I mean, I raised my stepdaughter too. So I can't blame anybody else. It's just the luck of the draw. We have 7 children. 6 of them are fabulous, wonderful human beings, and one of them is just a little jerk right now. Hopefully, it's something that she'll grow out of, but she's got a very entitled mentality, and it doesn't come from me, I tell you that much, because I'm the wicked stepmother. I'm the one saying, no, no, you decided to have these kids. We didn't. You need to start working a full-time job. Stop quitting every couple of days. Support your kids. You don't have to pay for a babysitter even. Like should we none of our grandkids have to go to a babysitter because we all work it out where they don't have to. You know, she's got enough grandparents that she doesn't even have to pay for a babysitter. I didn't have that when my kids were little. I never had a babysitter. I always had to pay for a babysitter. What I meant was I never had family to babysit. None of my kids, not one of them except my oldest daughter, has ever had to pay for a babysitter. And my oldest daughter is in the military, and the military gives her, she gets benefits, you know. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh my goodness. I just realized that you could probably hear my toilet flush. Gonna know my bathroom habits. I've been drinking a ton of water though, trying to move whatever this is through my system, pee it out. So sorry about that. But the toilet is literally on the other side of the wall of where I'm sitting. So you probably just heard it. Sorry. Um, but yeah, she she treats her mother's paycheck. Like I said, this is my stepdaughter. She still lives with her mother. Um, she's never moved out of her mother's house. She just had 2 babies with they are with the same guy, but that guy's in jail. The guy's been in jail since a couple of days before the last baby was born, and the last baby's 18 months old now. So he's never paid a dime of support for either one of them because even before he went to jail with the first one, he didn't work. But and so he's never paid child support for his kids ever. But she's always lived with her mother. Her mother's always paid the utilities and like I said, she'll get a job long enough to, you know, buy her a couple new outfits and stuff like that and go out and party and doesn't pay any bills, doesn't pay her own children's basic needs. Her mother does. So I'm not going to go on about that because that really makes my husband angry when I get when I talk about her because he realizes what's going on, but he's helpless or he feels helpless in the situation because he doesn't want his grandkids to go without anything, you know. We try, David. And he's not doing any, my husband doesn't do anything out of malice. It's all out of love, you know. But and I love my stepdaughter. I absolutely love her. But I don't agree with this at all. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I think she's making wrong choices. And her mother is very ill and still works. And because of her illness, and she's a diabetic, but she's a type 1, and she's very unstable diabetic. Like, she goes to the hospital at least once a month in an ambulance, type of diabetic. And part of it, a lot of it, is because of stress. At her age, she should be relaxing, not taking care of a whole nother family. You know what I mean? She should be living in a little 1-bedroom apartment somewhere, or a little paid off house or something like that, relaxing in her life. She's older than I am. She's 50. I think she's 57. I think she was 57, and I'm pretty sure yeah, she might be 58. Actually, I think she's 58. I think she's 2 years older than I am. So she should be thinking about retiring, getting ready to start retiring. And definitely her kids are old enough to be out of the house. She should be relaxing at this stage of her life, relaxing and getting ready for retirement. And she can't do that because she's busy paying for and raising a whole nother family. And that's not fair to her. And she's a nice lady. I really like her. I don't agree with her parenting because, I just keep I can't tell her. I'm not married to her. I'm married to her ex-husband. I've been with my husband they were only together for 6 years. We've been together for almost 20. But, so it's not my place to tell her how to parent her child. But because of the way she parents her child, it rolls off on us too. But it's also really bad for her because she can't even prepare for retirement or enjoy her life, you know. Like I said, at this stage in people's lives, yeah, we're still working in our 50s. We're still working, but we're preparing for retirement. Most of us, our kids are either out of the house or getting, really close to leaving the house at this age of our lives. And she's not even close to being there because she's got 2 more kids to be responsible for because their own parents won't. And my husband and I argue about that sometimes because, well, I not anyway, we argue about it because he sneaks and gives her money sometimes. And it's not because I want my grandkids to go without anything, because I definitely do not. But if her mother was taking care of her own responsibilities, if their mother was taking care of her own responsibilities, you know what I mean. I'm not even, like I said, I'm just not going to go on about that. It's not a game I can win. It's not a game I want to win because I don't want to ever make my husband feel like I don't like his daughter and I don't like my grandchildren, because I do. Yep, you're right, David. I started working at 15. I've had a job ever since I was 15 years old. And there's been only 3 years since I was 15 years old that I didn't work. And that was when I was so sick. I couldn't, it was impossible. Hi, Delbert. Yep. Still swinging with Corey and Doug. Yep. Sure enough, once you start swinging with Corey and Doug, you never go back. Oh, gosh. Well, I did work. I was babysitting those children and taking care of that whole household. So I see you're having yourself a good time over there. I'll let you. You can say whatever you want to say, but I've been talking to Jimmy Rants here and there for a while. He shows up sometimes. I say hello to him. He says hello to me. We're cordial. I never hated Jimmy Rants. Where were you, Brandy Lynn? Where'd you go? Yeah, he's been showing up a little bit here and there, Paul, lately. Nobody's done anything to you yet, Delbert, or Tiny, or Brandon, whoever you are. Yeah, I say hello to him. He says hello to me. There's no love lost there. Please call you Richard. Richard Sword? Okay. Or Tiny or Brandon. Oh, okay. Okay, yes, Brandy Lynn, I really want to know. Everybody heard me flush the toilet earlier when I went pee. So we can talk about anything here. I'm really surprised my husband's not home yet. Okay, then you have to tell us now since you've got all that up build. You got to tell us. You got to tell us what you were doing, Brandy Lynn. Yep, still married to that big Mexican gigolo. Hi, David. Well, I've been drinking a ton of water because I have either a kidney infection or a bladder infection, one or the other. Nope, Trump hasn't deported my husband yet. Don't tell on him, okay? Leave him alone. Um, anyway, so I've been drinking a ton of water. Well, I had to go potty, so I went, and not even realizing it, I'm in the living room, and the bathroom is in my bedroom, just on the other side of the wall of where I'm sitting. So I didn't realize it until after I already did it. I flushed the toilet, and I was like, "Oh, I bet everybody just heard me flush the toilet." Oh my goodness! Wow. Hey, David Guns, if I'm TMI, what in the heck is Brandy Lynn? Tony calls those his twins. My husband calls his boys his twins. Oh, wow. Oh, excuse me, everybody. I got to leave the hangout. I got to go help my husband trim up his boys. Big Ed and the twins. He hasn't given the main attraction a name, but he calls his boys his twins. I'll have to work on that. We'll have to work on that this weekend. We'll name it. That's funny. Okay, now here, let me tell you something, Brandy Lynn. If I would have done that, I would have been gone a lot longer than you because it would have turned into something else, if you know what I mean. You can't just go down there and play with stuff and then just walk away and leave it alone. So I would have been gone longer than you were because I wouldn't have been able to just walk away. It would have turned into something else. Goodbye, Delbert. Have a good day, honey. Oh. Hi, Jessica. Sit and spin, Deb. Okay. Oh my goodness. It was tempting. Well, I mean, I don't know. Freaks. Oh. Now see, I don't I don't like my husband to do that, but that's just me. I don't like him to alter the appearance at all. Just leave it alone. Excuse me? Jessica says, "Excuse me?" Brandy Lynn. Oh, God, that's funny. Not really. No, Jennifer or Jessica. Jennifer, they're not. I mean, not overly. Like, they have hardly any body hair at all. They're part Indian, and Indians don't have much body hair. So, enter at your own risk. Yeah. We're having a nice civilized chat over here. And Brandy Lynn has to go make it pornographic. Perfect. Just great. I should have put an adult warning on this chat. I didn't realize. Brandy. Good thing you're not on the panel, so we could all hear the humming of the trimmers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. You made me say it. Well, I had no idea. I thought you were going to say you took a poop or something. I didn't know you were going to say that. Yeah, Jessica. Going back. Oh my goodness. Oh, why wait till the weekend, David? I'm married to the a Mexican. I can have it anytime I want. I've teased before and said I could fart and it would be on if I wanted to. It's nothing sharp down south. Not me, Jessica. Mm-mm. Hi, MSV. How are you? That's a hairy jalapeno. I'm not the one that was doing the trimming. Just let's just clear that up now. I'm not the one that did that. My husband's not even home. He's still at work. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna have to get off of here pretty soon. I maybe another 15 minutes if he doesn't come home before that. And go make supper. Tonight we're gonna have something that starts with beef, um, stew meat. Probably gonna cut the stew meat up with some onions and some jalapeno peppers. And we still have I still have that soup left that I made last night. That's probably what I'll have. And beef Wellington. Yummy. I don't have any wine though. I can't make that. I drank it all, Paul. I'm a drunk, you know. Beef top ramen. No. Beef Snickers. No. No, it'll just be, I don't know what you call it, but he loves it when I just cut beef up and cook it with onions and jalapeno peppers. And sometimes, depending on the peppers, sometimes that's too hot for me. So if it is, that's okay. I'll just eat the soup that I made last night because that's good too. And tomorrow night, I probably won't cook at all because we'll have soup and this beef stuff, whatever I make tonight, we'll have that. So tomorrow will be a leftover night. I know, David. What do you think of all that stuff she's over there talking about, David Ennis? She's, she's, I just can't. I just can't. No, that's why I kind of started the hangout, Jessica. I was hoping that she would show up and tell us that she was okay. Yeah. And the last time she did a scope was about 7 hours ago, so it's been a long time. Cat got a job at the 99-cent store. Yeah. Yeah, it passed already, David Guns, but oh, she just posted a video here on YouTube. Let me check that out. Okay, 28 minutes ago. I haven't watched it yet, but she just did put a video up 28 minutes ago. So hopefully she's okay. I'll watch it here in a minute when I get off. Because, like I was getting ready to say, I got to go to the kitchen and start supper by 4:30. Because what I'm going to cook isn't going to take very long. She still has power. Yay! Oh, good. That's what I was worried about, was whether she'd have power. Good. Good, good, good. You lost your signal for a few? Sure you did, Brandy Lynn. Sure you did. Now every time Brandy Lynn leaves, we all know what's going on around here. Jeez. Hi, Bookie. And welcome, Carrie. Have you people that just showed up here, did you see what Brandy Lynn did earlier? I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to have to scroll up and read it, but it's pretty disgusting on Hangout. That's all I got to say. I'm probably going to get my channel struck because of her. Oh my goodness. Shopping. I've got my fingers in quotation marks. Brandy Lynn's going shopping with her husband. Is that what we're calling it these days? Okay, go girl. You go. I haven't, Paul. No, no, no. I really do have to go start dinner. David Ennis. David Ennis says, I've been divorced for 26 years. I don't know what to think about Brandy, except she's a good person. David Ennis is just a sweet man. Oh my goodness. But we in a headlock. Yeah, keep scrolling up, Carrie, to see what she's talking about there. Mm. Scrapbooking. Oh my goodness. Well, I'll tell you a little funny story. When my husband and I first got together, um, we had went out of town to some of my friend's house, and we hadn't been together very long. Well, we were together with our friends and we were partying and we had a few drinks, and we, our room where we was sleeping was in the basement. But it was an old house. They had the old fashioned heat vents, you know. Oh, I shouldn't even tell this story because somebody's going to tease me about it for years and years. Love you too, Brandy. See you later. Have a good time shopping. Anyway, so we'd had a few drinks and we went down to our room and we were doing what newlyweds do together, not thinking a thing about it. Not anyway. The next morning, uh, my friend was like, Deb, just so you know, for tonight, we heard what you guys were doing down there last night. I was like, what do because I honestly didn't think that we were that loud or anything like that. She goes, sounded like you were down there making monkeys. And so, still to this day, my husband and I call that making monkeys. Did you wash your hands, Brandy Lynn? Yeah, have fun shopping, Brandy Lynn. I was embarrassed about that too. Really embarrassed because I had no idea anybody could hear us. It was a big house and we were all the way down in the basement. But what I didn't realize is there was an old like heat register or something that really didn't even, if you look down it, you could even look down and see inside of our room if the light was on down there. Yeah, I'm not trying to sell my porn video to anybody. No, no, nobody'd buy that, David. I tried. I did try, but nobody would buy it. So, anyway, well, about 4 more minutes here, and I'm going to go start supper. Blah. You wouldn't be blah if you was the one eating it. Do you like hot peppers? My husband does. We've got a whole garden. Our, you know what? It never got much over like 50 degrees here today, so we probably won't have. Um, if it freezes, the that's just gone. So he'll probably need to go out there this weekend and pick the rest of the garden. Even stuff that, even some of the peppers that we would have left on the plants a little bit longer. If we don't want to lose them completely, he'll need to go out there and, yeah, if you have a tent and the whole campground knows. Well, not normally, but like I said, we'd had a few drinks that night, so I'm sure that we were a little looser than normal. We've always had kids. Well, we don't have kids at home now, but we're so used to being quiet that we are not too loud anyway. One thing, I told you that my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law were here for 3 months up until they've been gone now for about a month. But one thing that I told my husband, because we always sleep with our bedroom door open, we just always do. Even, when the kids were home, we always did. But I told my husband that when his mother and sister were here, that I wanted to start sleeping with our bedroom door closed. And he's like, why? And I said, well, because that way when we close the door, they don't already know, well, that's what they're doing in there because they always have the door open except for when they're doing that. That's true. Yes. My husband has done that many times, David Guns. Um yeah. Oh, you're welcome, David Ennis. It was kind of fun today in spots, wasn't it? And it was all Brandy Lynn's fault, not mine. All I did was an innocent little tinkle. I didn't do anything else crazy like Brandy Lynn did. So that was funny though. Well, you guys have a good evening. I may come back later, probably not, because I imagine my husband will be home pretty soon. But have a good evening and take care of each other, hug each other, pray for each other, and be good to each other. Life is really too short not to. All right. See y'all later.